Hello again, crafty friends. Welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to put together these biscuits packets and give you some of my tricks and tips. I love it when I can't speak, to get them to look as good as we can get them. So the PDF that you will have bought from Etsy comes as an A4 sheet which you can print out and cut them out. Some of the pictures you'll notice have a little bit of a grey background behind them. That's because they've got white areas on the stickers or the printed area, like this one, and I'll just hold it there so it can focus. So there's a little bit of white down the bottom for you to cut out. That just gives you a bit of extra a tab to help it stick together properly. Now there is the whole section on which papers to use and which settings, but I'll very quickly tell you what I use. So for this I have used some for the matte things, and for actually quite a lot of the wrappers I've used a double-sided, not double-sided, what am I trying to say, a sticky vinyl matte paper. And the reason I've used this is because I really like the way it prints out, even though some of these items would be shiny. This is nice and thin as a paper goes, and you can gloss it up later if you want to, but it folds really nicely and makes your minis look good. And it also prints really crisply. With reference to printing, always print at your highest possible settings. Make sure you pick the right papers for your the right printer setting for the paper that you've got. This one here is a matte photo paper, which is a Koala brand. I will put the links in the comments down below so you can see which papers I've used for these. So that's it. I'm going to quickly show you these. This is going to be another video. Now these are the biscuits that actually go with the packets. This is what spurred me into action to make the packets to go with these absolutely amazing biscuits that I've made. I mean, how perfect are these? This is your it probably, I'll be honest, isn't going to show up very well on the camera. I might zoom it up a little bit and see if it can cope, but those are mini bourbons, and those are, you really can't see the writing, but it's very difficult to see anyway. So those are rich tea, and I've made some plates as well. These are special biscuit cutters that I got from a lady in England, and I'm going to do a separate video on how to make these. They are fiddly, let me just say that. But God, they're so cute, aren't they? I mean, for goodness sake, who doesn't love those? Anyway, that's for another day. Let's talk about things that you will need once you've cut out all your designs from there, and things that I find useful to make these things, and then we'll get on to making up a few things to show you how it works. Now there's quite a few digestives, hobnobs, all those sorts of things. I'm just going to swing the camera a little bit over here so that you can see where I'm doing the making side of things. Right, okay, so for the rolled biscuits, what I've used is some strips of card. Now these are 2 centimetres. I'm going to work in centimetres because I'm British. Sorry Americans, I don't understand. Well, I do understand inches, but this is yeah, anyway, 2 centimetres on here, width wise, which will fit into your rolls of biscuits. Now I've done a few different sizes, so I think this one's 4 centimetres, 5 centimetres and 6 centimetres. Now depending on what card you use for this will depend how much rolling you've got to do to get these right, but I'll just show you so you've got an idea. I actually find thinner paper better because you get less of a ridge. So it's a bit like rolling a cigarette for those of you who ever smoked in your dim and distant past. Use a cocktail stick, roll it around, and then you can either stick it down or you can glue it down and just sort of hang on to it for a minute. So I take the cocktail stick out, you don't really need it afterwards. So then you will have a roll. Now also, depending on which paper you've used for this will depend on the size that you need to roll, there we go, the size that you need to roll this around. So it's pretty straightforward. Then you just get your, if you've got a sticker, you just then roll it around your rolled up piece of paper. If you've got cardboard, it's actually easier to roll this round and stick it and then slide the tube in, but you can't really, so I'll just show you what I mean by that. So you just roll it round and then you stick it with some glue, and then you've got a nice round shape and you can slide the tube inside. If you're doing it with sticker paper, you can't do that because obviously it will just stick to the paper straight away. So that's those. So I've cut out a few of those, and that's how I've made all those. It's very relaxing to do whilst watching the telly in the evening. Okay, so move those out of the way. Now these, the fig rolls, the jammy dodgers, bourbons, all these sorts of things, I've actually done by cutting up. I've made them the size for a coffee stirrer. So you can just cut the coffee stirrer to the size that you need, and then you can just wrap that round it. What I do use quite often, which I've forgotten to get out, give me a minute. Oh, I've got to get up. Old lady, see, I'm getting old. Not fun getting old, is it? Says she at the age of 58. But anyway, you know what I mean. Getting old and groany. So with the, I use a metal ruler all the time, so I highly recommend a metal ruler. If you've done something that is in, this is the satin photo paper, so it's not glossy. I prefer the satin to the actual gloss, although it's a bit more difficult to get hold of. This is the Koala brand, and the GSM I think is about 280 on this, but I could be wrong, but I'll link it in the bottom. So when you've got one of these lovely rulers, all you need to do to make your boxes and stuff is just fold it over, and that will give you a nice crisp edge. And then when you come to, you can do it a bit more if you like once it's done, but at least it gives you a really thin edge to bend over on. So I quite often do that before I'm sticking things together. That's one of my top tips. So make sure you've got a metal ruler. So these ones are really that simple. They've got little edges on them, and they are tiny. I'm going to say, you know, they are tiny because I made them to go for the biscuits. These are exact one. They're going to fall. I can't even pick them up. So these are exactly 1/12. The lady who makes these biscuit cutters, which I will also link in the description, and there will be a video on how to make these, she is adamant that everything has to be to scale, and that is fantastic, but it makes you realise that what I think I'm guilty, along with a lot of miniaturists, of gradually things creeping up a little bit in their scale because they're easier to make. Don't tell anyone I said that. So, but with this, I've had to go, oh, my bad. I need these jammy dodgers to go in the biscuits, so the boxes need to be the right size. And yeah, it's given me a bit of a reminder about the importance of scale yet again. I think all miniaturists get caught in this trap. I mean, you look at the jammy dodgers. No, what's this? It's a bourbon, isn't it? So here's a bourbon when my camera wants to, and this is the size that it goes with. So they are absolutely tiny. Right, I'll put these back. So that's how you do the square ones. The foxes and the family circle biscuits, I mean, aren't these just fabulous? They are fairly obvious how you make them. And again, it will depend on the size of your card that you print it on. This again has been done on, I think it's 280 GSM, but the satin paper. So if you're doing it on a different size card, you may find that you need to wiggle a little bit with the size. You know, just sort of tuck it in a bit more to make sure that it actually all fits nicely. So do a dry run to make sure that it's going to fit depending on the size of your paper, the thickness of your paper. Okay, so to put that one back, we've got some Thai food tea, we've got some, sorry that's my arm, Jacob's crackers, and again it's fairly self-explanatory how to put all those together. Now you are going to hate me a little bit for the tunnocks. I will apologise now, and the clubs. There's enough to do. In a pack of tunnocks there's 8, so there's enough to make 8, and my goodness me, they are small. So there is the size of these. Now I used, I'm not even sure you can see them. So there's the box that they go in, if you want to. I would be swearing at the ceiling at this point if I was trying to put that into a box. I was swearing quite a lot anyway, to be honest. But this, I've used a few things. I've used a cocktail stick for those. I've also used a match stick, but you still have to trim it because they're so tiny. Or you can use a bit more of your stick here, which you can just cut. Nail clippers, these things, look. These are, I think, cuticle, I don't know what they are, something to do with cuticles. As you can see, my nails are in the right state. So, but these are really quite good for doing small bits, like to cut a few. It's a bit raggedy looking, but if you use them to cut like this, they will cut you off really tiny bits, and the really tiny bits you do need, unfortunately, for the tunnocks. You could use also bits of paper. You could maybe do a tiny roll of paper and then squash it flat. I think that's what, with the club biscuits, which are also very small, there's enough in there for, I think, 7 club biscuits and 8 tunnocks it was. So they are really fiddly too, and I think this side of these I use just 2 or 3 bits of really small paper to do that. I'm going to confess I do have a Cricut machine, so they can cut out tiny bits of paper, but it was still incredibly fiddly and I did swear a lot. Right, do you know what? I think it's that simple, but if you have any questions, I hope I've covered most of it. I'm just looking to see if there's any other box shapes. Oh, I put some dolly mixtures in there. How cute are these? I have made some mini dolly mixtures. Look at this. Where is it? Where are you? Is it going to work it out, or shall I come down a bit? Why are you not working it out, you silly camera? Come on. There it is. Dolly mixtures. How tiny are those? I made the box, and then when that's got to go in here because I haven't got anywhere else to put it. Obviously there are plenty of other bits and pieces that I've made on the line in my Etsy store that you can buy, and I'm always open to suggestions of other things that you might like. I did start off doing these as the 1940s things, but then I've progressed on, and I've had a lot of fun doing these because they're, you know, the 1970s and 80s packaging is just a bit cool, isn't it? Oh look, they're all rolling around all over the place. So I went through Britain's favourite biscuits of the 80s, 70s and 80s, and this is what we've got. So there we go. Some of the packaging is still current today. I think that's it. Let me know in the comments or send me a message on Etsy if you have any suggestions or anything else you would like me to make. And I will follow up very shortly with the video on how to make these biscuits, and I will link the biscuit cutters into this video too. I have to say it is fiddly. I think I've said that already. Right, thanks for watching and I'll see you soon. Bye.